Racing takes us to Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Yep, we should be good to go for a 9-race program that was due to happen on Wednesday the 24th, but here we are. We're looking forward to the end of the month, and we're looking forward to the next couple of months at the country course, as per tradition. Before we get back here to usher in the summer, feature races will come back to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth from November, but for the next 2 months we are going to be highlighted, and we're going to set out our stall at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and really looking forward to the end of September, where we have the Kuda Matcham Stakes, which is the traditional starting point for all those big horses looking forward to the Cape Summer Festival. Don't forget to like and subscribe our Cape Racing channel. Plenty of exciting things going on here, and we'll continue to keep you abreast with what to expect. But for now, I'm going to take you through the 9-race card at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, hopefully tip you a winner or two. Obviously, we're in the dark a little bit with regard to fitness. We're looking to resume Perfectly Placed in the next week or so. So just to give trainers an opportunity to get things going, to get into routine again, and then hopefully by the time the meeting on the 10th of September comes along, maybe even sooner, we can get Perfectly Placed interviews back up and running, and we won't be wasting your time, the trainer's time, and anyone else as well. We can go in with a little bit of clarity. So I think we can make a little bit of money on this card. Of course, it's a doubleheader Saturday. Race number 1 on the card gets underway at 12 o'clock now. Take note of all the time changes, a couple of distance changes as well. This is now over 1,000 meters. The Hollywoodbets Durbanville welcomes you. Work Riders maiden plates over 1,000 meters. Now we know that Work Riders around the turn might not look all that pretty, but I have been well informed that Craig Deploy has taken a lot of these Work Riders to Durbanville, to Hollywoodbets Durbanville, to do some gallops, to get used to riding around the turn, to gain a little bit of experience. And I believe that some trainers have actually put these Work Riders on some established horses, so that is the good news. Now, it's probably not a race that you want to go straight in, sort of boots and all, but I think number 10, Bagatelle Flash, could be the right one in the race. Now gets the services of a Work Rider, Sia Tamelo, who's had a number of winners around, was due to be ridden by a Viwe Bikwa's first ride, but he's not qualified to go around the turn, so I'm happy with the replacement. Eric Sands has got this horse to run consistently without getting his big prize. He's run to some nice horses, Makazole, who of course is in a lot of the race cards, being a Cape Racing sales graduate that earned some black type, to Kai Boy, who I think is above average, and to Air Raid as well, who I think now gelded we could see some fireworks from. If the deep draw doesn't cost Bagatelle Flash, I think he'll be bang there, but I think Places is the safety net. You're not going to get rich, but it is a little bit of progress hopefully to be made. 2, Fencing Captain bang in the race, as is number 5, Dawn Till Dusk. So that's how I see the first on the card at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Race number 2 on the card is the first leg of the bipot, celebrating Centurion member Vidrick Thurling's birthday. Maiden plate for fillies and mares. They go 1,250 meters. A lot of first-timers here who are very interesting. One Wild Applause is interesting. Obviously, 2 Sweet Conifer is scratched. 4 Nerdsburg is also very well bred as well. But I think that experience counts for a lot, as we know. Number 9, My Sensation. As we have a look at that rerun, look where she was, look where she came from. She had no right to run third first time out, and the colours are Greg Bortz, but doing her best work late to finish behind Polynomial. A lot went wrong in the first half of the race. She made up a ton of ground. She gets JP van der Merwe on board. She's been off 74 days. That might be exacerbated a little bit by the lack of work that's been done, but hopefully she's been to Hollywoodbets Durbanville, where a lot of gallops happen, and I think that if the first timers are perhaps one step behind the 8 ball, then number 9, My Sensation, could take out victory in race number 2. I'll recommend Places just in case one of the first timers are good, but number 9, My Sensation, is my idea of the top choice in race number 2. Let's now go on to race number 3. This is celebrating Centurion member Sally Bruss maiden plate for fillies and mares. They go 1,250 meters yet again. Don't know what to make of the split of the 2 races, which one seems a little bit more straightforward and which one doesn't. I think number 6, Greenlight Dancer, who now gets the services of Craig Zaki, could end up being the right one in the race, with 2 starts. The first one behind in the green zone over a distance that was always going to be too short for her. The second time behind Spoil Yourself. I think Spoil Yourself, trained by Brett Crawford, is very progressive, and I like the step up that this horse made from run 1 to run 2, and I'd expect a little bit more improvement. I think number 3, Oktoberfest, is going to be bang there. Very well bred daughter of Master of My Fate. That's a famous family, of course, as we know, out of Miss October, various others in the Avery Silks, trained by Candice Bass Robinson, who we cannot forget from last season, October Morn being the one that up straight to the forefront of the comments. And number 1, Sheffield Beach, is well bred, but the comments is looking for further place chance. Joshua Solomon takes her out on that, so I'm not getting much of a gauge from the first timers here, and I think that number 6, Greenlight Dancer, could end up being the right one. 10 Love Story, I suppose, needs to be thrown into the mix as well. It's not a very strong start to the place accumulator at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. So what I'm going to recommend is that you lead the way with number 6 Green Light Dancer, but by the time race time comes around, perhaps gauge the market, see who there's been talk for, see who there's been support for, and then maybe just include as a backup. If there is another race runner that you like, then do not be scared to throw that in as well. We then move on to race number 4. It's the start of the pick 6. Now there's a pick 6 carryover up on the half belt, but I think this pool is going to be very good as well. Gets underway at 1:45 with the Hobday Equestrian Enterprises maiden plate. They go 1,250 meters yet again. Now I've structured a pick 6 for you, and we're going to have a look at number 8 Empire State, who ran second to Please Be True first time out in the mud at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, but been to Hollywoodbets Durbanville, made up a lot of ground, caught the eye. I think they're going to be winners out of the form line. I think the fact that he acquitted himself so well at the track and acquitted himself well in the soft going, it's still going to be soft at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. This thing's going to be out for a long time here in Cape Town. All of that I think stacks up well. Stable jockey Aldo De Meyer now takes the ride. He's got to be the horse to beat, because I know Please Be True is held in high regard. So for me, he stacks up as a pick 6 banker. None of the other form horses make as much appeal, and I think if one of the first timers came out on top, then of course you got the runner rule, the raced runner rule to your advantage. And I think number 8 Empire State, if he doesn't win in the first timer topples him, he'll be the first raced runner home. So my pick 6 is as follows. It's banker 8 in the first leg by 1, 5, 8, 10 and 12. Yes, I've got the scratching in there, Tambourine Man. By 1, 2 and 5 by a lot of horses in the fourth leg. I think that's where we got to really set out our stall, and you'll see my suggested bet to come in race number 7. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12 and 14 by banker number 3 Rockapina. I think she could be well above average by 2, 4, 5 and 6 in the back. That's my pick 6 for Hollywoodbets Durbanville on this Saturday. So let's go now on to race number 5, the Claverflay Stud Class 5. And this race runs at 20 past 2. 1,250 meters is the distance. I'm a little bit upset that we got the scratching in number 12, Tambourine Man. That kind of takes a little bit of the gloss off because he was in my play. So my 2 horses here in a box swinger are going to be numbers 1 and 8. Let's start with number 8, Shifting Path. Louis and Otwa takes the ride for Pete Buerta. Buerta's yard has been good this winter. It's been in good, consistent form. Shifting Path has been to Hollywoodbets Durbanville and won before. That was a while ago. But the fact is he's been there. A lot of his good work has come here at HQ at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. But the point is he runs well. He's consistent. He's probably in the form of his life as number 8, Shifting Path. So for all those reasons, he's probably the most reliable selection in race number 5. He's one of the flag bearers at this Class 5 level. But the biggest threat could come from the stable companion, number 1, Beneath the Moon. The track runs forward. Well, it's touted to run forward, and Beneath the Moon's a horse with good gate speed, and from draw 1 the advantages are endless. Could she topple her stable companion number 8, Shifting Path? I think they'll both be bang there, and I think that box swingers is the way to go. The other horses that I had in my pick 6 include numbers 5, Spirit Unite. It might be a little bit too short. Spirit Unite's got demons in the starting stalls, so I think 12.50 might just catch him out, but it wouldn't surprise me if he won soon. And number 10, Rouge Arun, also goes in just on the back of a rating drop and coming to this level for the first time for a long time. In fact, the first time in his life, number 10, Rouge Arun also goes in. But I think Buerta is the key in race number 5. We'll go box swingers numbers 1 and 8. Now we go on to race number 6, the Paul Diamant Class 4 for fillies and mares, off at 5 to 3. They go 1,600 meters. I'm going to take a stab with the lightweight number 2, Eternal Optimist, the consistent Eternal Optimist. Second run after rest, should be fitter from the last run. Sianda Sasibo makes his first trip to Hollywoodbets Durbanville, so hopefully he gets good experience in his first few rides before he gets on a horse that I think is worth making a bit of money on. I'm going to suggest her and tip her as an each way selection from a good draw with a lightweight with consistency on her side. The well-bred daughter of Quirari has got a line of form that makes her a very interesting piece of information as well, with a whole lot of lightly raced horses around. Eternal Optimist is more grizzled. She's consistent, like I said, and I think with Eric Sands' yard being in good heart throughout the year, that we can perhaps back it up and suggest number 2, Eternal Optimist, as an each way play in race number 6. Let's go now on to race number 7, the Suttendale Estate Class 3. And they go 1,400 meters here, and this is very, very tricky indeed. Whatever happens, you're going to get horses that you least think running into the top 4. So I think a quartet is the way to go. Now, this is generally my play when we get a bigger field and we get the possibility of getting a few horses that might be at big prices running into the top 4. Of course, scratch number 15, Tutafei, who I thought might be a bit of an outsider. I'm going to double float number 5, Solar Power, with number 9, Gem King. No, I'm not joking. Solar Power, I think, is an obvious selection. Louis Otwa takes a ride for Brett Crawford. A good fluent winner last time out when beating Future Turn by a length. That form has worked out nicely. I think Solar Power now back in the Cape is just a different horse. He's a happier horse, and he's likely to be the most consistent and reliable selection in the race. But what of number 9, Gem King? The ratings dropped from a once 106 to 100. Remains off the same mark. The last run was a sprint. He's not a sprinter, is number 9, Gem King. But if you go back to earlier days, this horse was competing with the absolute best. He's grade 1 performed. He's probably not a grade 1 horse, but he's probably a grade 3 horse. And if you believe that like I do, then he's going to be dangerous in this race. And I like the engagement of Aldo De Meyer taking the ride for Pete Steyn. I just think that there's a clue there. I think there's an indication that the expectations for number 9, Gem King, is that he's going to come back to life. Second run after a very long layoff. I think the last run was just a pure setup, and I think that he's going to be bang there as well. If he shows his best, he'll win. I hope he's not one run away, but I think the quartet's the way to go in race number 7. Race 8, looking forward to this. This is the Hopes and Dreams stud class 4 for fillies and mares. They go 1,000 meters. Rockapina should win, shouldn't she? Again, Aldo De Meyer takes a ride for Candice Bass Robinson. Debut was an eye-catching second to Worldcraft. Put it all together in such good style at 3 to 10 in mid-June. I believe their aspirations to get her into strong feature races this summer. Maybe she is an out-and-out sprinter. The family don't seem to stretch to a mile, but they are out of the top draw. This is Fast Fantine Royalty, and her last win, I think, just makes her more progressive, and a filly that's untapped, and a filly that's just totally unexposed. And I think that we are going to see the best of her at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I believe that she's been to the track, by the way, so that could be a big kicker. I'm going to make her the one to beat. Her win was just too impressive. The talk is too impressive. And yes, we are probably going with reputation rather than good solid analysis, because we've got a whole lot of consistent hard knockers in this race. But I think number 3, Rockapina, if she is going to get to quite high levels, then she ought to win this race. It's as simple as that. Then on to the 9th and last race. It's the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Cape C Stakes. They go 1,000 meters. Race runs at 4:45. Again, we've gone with the Bass Yard and also the younger number 4, Otaniqua. So let's start with number 2, Kaiboy. I think this horse is above average. Domeyer rides again for CBR, coming back from a layoff. First run is a gelding. I think that's key. Whispers again from the yard is that there are high expectations for the son of One World. I think he's just going to come into his own. I think he's going to blossom. I think that he's going to kick on, and I think that he's going to be okay. His run in the feature race to Lion Rampart, nothing wrong with that. I know he was beaten 7.5 lengths, but Lion Rampart was just a cut above. At that stage, the most forward 2-year-old colt around. One of the most forward 2-year-old colts around, and to Kaiboy at that stage, I just don't think was much of a match. I think now we might get to a level where he just kind of balances the books a little bit, number 2, Kaiboy. So I'm expecting good things to happen for him, and I think that we'll start here at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Exactly the same comments apply for number 4, Otaniqua. There was a lot of talk about him first time out when he beat Bang Street. He beat Bang Street with contemptuous ease. Second time out, was that a little bit too soon for juveniles against older company? We know it's not the null way to bring out juveniles at all, but Otaniqua must have been showing so much for him to get started the way that he was. A little bit of sun on the back. Of course, we know that out at the west coast, weather hasn't been all that bad. So number 4, Otaniqua, might have a little bit of an advantage here going into this race, and I make him the biggest danger to number 2, Kaiboy. Or is number 2, Kaiboy the biggest danger to Otaniqua? I think that they'll be in the first 3. Hence, I'm tipping box swingers 2 and 4. Not going to pay much, but just to put a cherry on the day and hopefully take out a few shekels at the end of racing at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Looking forward to all of the action. Don't forget, we got the gallops out at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Thursday, the 19th of September. Come and join us. Come and say hello. Come and see your horses in action. Come and have a breakfast with us. Come and ask some questions. We're looking forward to seeing you at this meeting on Saturday at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and for the next 2 months of the country course. All sorts of spreads are going to be put on for you, and we hope that you enjoy it all. We hope that you make some money, and we hope to see you there. Goodbye.